What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C4 here today. Continue with our Madden 17 roster reveal. In this video, you're going to see my custom Madden 17 rosters for Madden 16. So in case the next Madden game sucks and you want to stay up to date with the current rosters, you can just come back and use my rosters to, really get the full experience of the next gen game. So these rosters will be released at the completion of all these videos because I'm taking what you guys say in the comment section below to adjust and kind of tweak the rosters to get them the best possible community rosters they can be. Also, you're pretty much going to get a great gauge of what the actual Madden 17 rosters and overalls will look like, because I think these guys are going to be pretty fucking dead on to what they will be in real life. Like I said, most of these rosters have multiple rookies from this year's draft class, so I think it's going to be a sick, fun experience, awesome, unreal. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll start the video off. If you can hit 40 likes, I will upload the next video immediately. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so now. We want 15,000 subs by the time Madden 17 comes out. And today, without further ado, looking at the Miami Dolphins. So with the Dolphins at the quarterback position, we gave Mr. Ryan Tannehill an 82 overall. Last year, 6-10 as their starter, 4,200 passing yards, 24 passing touchdowns to 12 interceptions. So overall, he did have some struggles last year, but not an awful year. And obviously, if you are a Dolphins fan, you'd think that with now Adam Gase there, somewhat of a quarterback guru, offensive mastermind, that next year Ryan Tannehill is going to ball out. I know I have a buddy that's a Dolphins fan, and I know he's really, he thinks the same. He hopes the same. And it's going to be interesting to see what Tannehill can do out there. They're going to try to make him more of a pocket passer, still let him be able to run out. I know, like I said, with a good buddy that is a Dolphins fan, they want to see Tannehill be able to run and use his legs a little bit more. But it will be interesting to see. But still, an 82 overall is no shrug at all. And for ultimate teams like that, he's usually a very, very solid bargain buy. Now look at the running back position with Lamar Miller gone. Looks like Ajayi is going to be the starter. Didn't start a single game last year. Only had 187 yards and 1 touchdown in very limited action. But all counts so far is that he's been the starter through those, the OTAs and all that stuff that started. I'm really big fan for him from Boise State in college. He has that bone-on-bone injury, so I think his playing career will be somewhat limited. But I think if he is the starter next year in Miami and they don't get an Arian Foster type guy, I think he could definitely carry the load. And will surprise the people and will be a definite fantasy football sleeper. Looking at the fullback, obviously they don't have a fullback. Looking at wide receiver now, Jarvis Landry. We gave him a 91 overall. Very, very productive player. In 14 games started last year, he had 110 receptions, a PPR monster. 110 receptions, just shy of 1,200 receiving yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns. Obviously, his receiving touchdowns don't really match everything else, and they're hoping, as the Dolphins fans, that he can up his touchdown numbers to really match his receptions and yards, but he's a very, very productive player. 91, I think, is a very just rating for him. Secondary, we got Kenny Stills, who's probably more along the lines of a third stringer. Only started in 8 games last year, had 27 receptions for 440 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think they're going to expect big things, though, out of my boy DeVante Parker out of Louisville. I was very, very high on him in the draft. He only got around to the end of last year, 4 starts, but in those 4 starts, 26 receptions, 494 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I think he is going to be a legit number 1, and you're not going to be really worrying too much about Reshad Matthews, who's now at the Tennessee Titans. They lost him in free agency. I think the tandem of Jarvis Landry and DeVante Parker is very, very profitable, I guess, using a business term. I think they're going to have very, very high production next season, and I think with Adam Gase, man, if you can get Ryan Tannehill going on all cylinders, there's going to be the weapons there for him to be very, very productive. Very, 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 very. Now with the tight end position, we're going with Jordan Cameron. We gave him an 84 overall. Was able to stay healthy-ish last year. We have 16 starts. In those 16 starts, he had 35 receptions for 386 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not exactly the same production he had in his one big breakout year with the Cleveland Browns, but I think the potential is still there. He was able to stay healthy for the most part last season, which was his big question mark. So again, with his new revitalized offense of Adam Gase, maybe become more of a player. Looking at the tight end play, they're always very prominent with at Denver. You had Julius Thomas, and then last year at Chicago, Zach Miller really emerged late on. So I think Cameron could have a big season ahead of him in Adam Gase's offense. Now in the offensive line, Brandon Albert will start at left tackle. I think we give him a 78 overall. At left guard, Laremy Tunsil, the first-round draft pick, maybe the best pound-for-pound pick in this year's draft first round. Laremy Tunsil will give him an 83 overall. Starting center, my boy from the University of Florida, Mike Pouncey, 85 overall, one of the best centers in the NFL, even though he's had a little bit of injury history. Right guard, we have Jermon Bushrod. I believe they signed him in free agency from the Chicago Bears. But from all the counts and little digging I did, it looks like he will start at guard, compete there with Billy Turner, but I think Turner has been somewhat average. I think Bushrod has all the potential to start at right guard for the Dolphins. And at right tackle, Juwan James, their former first-round draft pick from the University of Tennessee, we gave him a 75 overall. Now jumping to the defense side of the ball, Cameron Wake has re-signed. He had a tough injury. I believe it was his Achilles, and as someone I personally have had an Achilles injury, they are fucking tough. But I mean, still 7 starts last year, 7 sacks, very productive. The former CFL man, we still gave him a 92 overall. Very good player. Hopefully he can stay on the field more, develop more relationship with Mr. Ndamukong, and he's going to need an even bigger role because obviously with Olivier Vernon now with the New York Giants. The opposing side, they went out in free agency and got him some help in Mario Williams. We gave him an 87 overall. He's nearing the end of his prime, but he's still a double-digit sack getter. So, like I said, not maybe as promising, doesn't have as much upside as potential as Olivier Vernon, but they're getting him for substantially cheaper than what the Giants paid. I think his production, Vernon had 7.5 sacks. I think he'll get that easily with Mario Williams next year if he stays healthy. Then you got Deion Jordan. We'll mention him really quickly, 73 overall. It's going to be interesting to see if he can stay on the field. Defensive tackle, Ndamukong, we gave him a 95 overall, one of my favorite players in the NFL today. 16 starts last year, 6 sacks, and 60 tackles. He was fucking double-teamed, triple-teamed on multiple plays. Maybe some questions over his work rates last year. Some people think he was taking plays off. I personally think every team was just straight up, locking in on him and blocking him out of games. But he needs to have a little bit more production for that $100+ million contract he signed. But still was productive enough to get a 95 overall. And his partner will probably be Earl Mitchell, who we gave a 78 overall. Left outside linebacker, Koamisi, we gave him an 87 overall. Last year, 13 starts, had just shy of 75 total tackles, or maybe just had 75 total. Either way, he's going to need a pretty big year. He's a very solid player, but to be a starter, I'd like to see maybe a little bit more production out of him. Starting at the middle, they got Kiko Alonso. They recently acquired from the Philadelphia Eagles. He did not do a whole lot for us last year. I can tell you he's an Eagle fan. He struggled with his injury, did not look the same player that he was in Buffalo. But in the first game of the year against the Atlanta Falcons, he did make an insane Odell Beckham Jr. type one-handed interception in the end zone of Matt Ryan during the Falcons game. So I think the potential, he showed some glimpses of what he used to be. But I would take this with a lot of optimism. You got to think very, very highly of him. I think, personally, he might be done. I hope he's not, man. Obviously, I liked him when he played in Oregon, and I liked him at Buffalo, and I was very optimistic that if we kept him for this year, he'd be back to the old form that he used to be. But I can only go off of what I've seen, and he looked really, really slow last year, guys. But for Miami Dolphins' sake, he does turn out to be pretty well. Then right outside linebacker starting, we got Jelani Jenkins, former Florida Gator, 13 starts last year, 70 tackles, 1 forced fumble. I think big time player. Didn't have I think he had 100-some tackles, something like that his rookie year. But very, very solid linebacker, a very legit starter. Happy to see him doing well. Another Gator player. Now the secondary there. Byron Maxwell obviously came in the trade with the Philadelphia Eagles. We gave him a 78 overall. Pretty bad player last year, I'll tell you that right now. He's afraid to tackle. Some games he'd look well. Other times when he played against elite corners like Julio Jones and other guys like that, maybe it was our system. Billy Davis liked to keep our guys on an island, even though he'd be covering elite premier wide receivers. And, Byron Maxwell simply not a top 5 corner, and you're playing him like a top 5 corner. So it's going to be, one of you will be able to have a bounce back season after we paid a fuck ton of money of him in free agency. But he will be starting there, trying to pick up the pieces now with Brett Grimes' list secondary for the Miami Dolphins. And then we get Bryce McCain a 77, Patman 73, and rookie Xavier Howard a 70. Kind of a head-scratching pick there for Howard. I think they took him a round or two too high, but optimism will be pretty high that he can see a lot of time on the field on his rookie year. Then at strong safety, Issa Abdul-Quddus coming over from the Detroit Lions in free agency. Very solid player. Nothing super flashy about him, but he doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. So we gave him an 82 overall. And then, in my opinion, the best player on the Miami Dolphins, which is Reshad Jones. We gave him a 97 overall. He was an absolute animal last year. 16 starts, 5 interceptions. We had 10 pass deflections, 2 sacks, almost 135 total tackles. I mean, this guy is an absolute monster. So 97 overall. I think he actually might be the best and my highest rated strong safety in this year's game. Then a kicker, that Franks, we gave him a 76, and punter Matt Darch, 73. So there you have it, guys. That is the Miami Dolphins Madden 17 roster. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. 40 likes, new video uploaded soon. Keep subscribing to the channel. 15,000 subs by the time Madden 17 comes out. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out.